Hello once again, it's Matthew from Matthew North Music, and today's video is about this. This is a TC Electronics stereo chorus pitch modulator and flanger pedal. Now, this belongs to my friend Kevin Armstrong, and if you don't know who Kevin Armstrong is, then Google is your friend. But some of the high points include him being David Bowie's guitarist and musical director for Live Aid. He's had at least 2, possibly 3 stints as Iggy Pop's guitarist, played on Blah 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 with a Real Wild Child, great song from my youth. And he's an all-round fantastic guitar player and a really nice person. Anyway, he sent me this pedal. Now, as I will explain in the video, it originally was a mains powered pedal and it ran on 110 volts, which of course is the American standard, and it's not working. Well, I've fixed this pedal. I've made a slight modification to it, and I'm going to show you how I did it, and then at the end I'm going to show you a quick little sound demo of how great this pedal is. I wasn't going to do a video on this pedal, but then I thought, well, why not? This is a TC Electronics chorus pedal that's also got flanging and pitch modulation in. Now, this is a mains powered pedal, as you can see by the fact it's got an American 110 mains plug on the end, and it's not working. Now, it was a faff to get the circuit board out, I won't lie, and I actually had to desolder the pots and the switches because one of the pots was I couldn't get the knob off the end of it and I just couldn't move it. So I just thought, it'd just be easier just to desolder everything. So I desoldered everything, got the board out. And if we look at the printed circuit board here, you can see there's something missing, and that's because I've already taken it out, and that's the mains transformer. Now, you can probably see there's some actual burn marks, and that's because the primary of the transformer here is actually melted and broken. And if you put the ohm meter across it, then it's a completely open circuit on that side, and it's there's some resistance on that side, so it's the primary is just burnt out. Now, this is actually quite a good thing because it means because the primary's burnt out, nothing has gone through to the secondary, or at least I don't think so. Anyway, I did do a quick test. I didn't have it needs 24 volts, you see, and then then goes to the power supply here. There's some like really tiny little diodes there, and then there's various capacitors. It's all sort of surface mount, and it's all very, very complicated stuff. And it's almost like I don't like this surface mount stuff because I just can't solder it. It's just really complicated. But power supply I'm okay with. Anyhow, what I did manage to do, even though it needs 24 volts, I got a 12 volt power supply. And I just thought, I wonder if something might work with just 12 volts. And certainly I pressed the button there and the status light came on and off, which makes me think, well, all that part's working. And the light here that shows you the frequency of the oscillation was sort of coming on and going off. Now, it hasn't got the pot in there to adjust the frequency, but in essence, I kind of think this probably works. Now, there's 2 ways I'm going to have a go at fixing this. And the person I'm fixing it for, I've just sent him a message actually. Now what I could do is we could replace this transformer. Now you could replace it with a 240 volt transformer, but this is wired up for class 2 wiring, so there's no earthing. And I really don't like the idea of mains electricity going into a pedal. I think 110 is pushing it, to be honest. And so we could order another one of these transformers up from America and replace it. But my personal preference is we could get a power supply like this that goes to 24 volts. And then we get one of our standard sort of pedal connector sockets. And then we can take this mains cable out and we can pop that in. I might not even need to drill it because I think that the hole might be the right size. I mean, I may have to make it a little bit bigger. But then we can have that mounted, and then you'll never need to worry about this transformer because it's all to do with heat, and these things do get warm. And when they're in a confined space like an effects pedal, particularly if they're on tour, I mean, this pedal has been all over the world. I think this has been on tour with Iggy Pop. It may have even been used for some David Bowie related stuff, I'm not sure, but definitely I think it's been used for the Iggy stuff. And yeah, you know, it's just a case of, you know, how do we do this? Now, obviously, if you replace it with this, then it keeps it as stock, and certainly pedal collectors would prefer that. But then, if you're going to use this as a gigging musician, then you don't want to be carrying around, you know, a power supply like this just to do one pedal. So anyway, I'm going to hear back from Kevin and see what he wants to do. And if he wants to go down the route of the power supply, then I can literally order one of these for about £20 off eBay, and then we can be up and running again with this pedal, and it's really not cost very much to fix. Okay, well, I just spoke to Kevin, and he wants to go the option of using an AC to AC plug top type adapter, and we will then fit this socket here into here. Now, just to make that hole a little bit bigger to fit it, I actually just used one of these tools, but I actually used it by hand. And so I was just able to turn it gently, and I just needed to make it slightly bigger because it was probably only about 1mm or so too small. After doing that, this will then fit in there like so, and then I'll wire it in directly to the board. If we look at the printed circuit board, actually, see, this is where our mains transformer went here, and then that's soldered into the transformer here, and then it came out on these two here for the secondary. So I'll just wire 2 bits of wire to the secondary that will then go to the socket, and then this should be able to run off an external supply. Okay, then there's our socket there that's been installed into the case, and then it's just going to be a case now of me gently fitting the circuit board back into the case, because as I said, I had to desolder all the switches and the connectors and everything, and then hopefully it'll all fit in place, and then I can just solder everything in. Now, I have noticed a slight problem in that the circuit board is fouling with this socket, so I might need to actually change that. Crisis narrowly averted there. I did have some smaller connectors, and with a couple of washers, they are now in place, and there's enough clearance now that the end isn't going to be touching the PCB. However, there wasn't much thread here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue around there just to stop the nut moving and just give it a little bit more rigidity. Well, here we go then. The pedal is actually plugged in, and I'm actually only running it on 12 volts, not 24 as the transformer is. And you know what? It's working. And I just think this is the most lush sounding chorus. Let's speed him up a bit. Slow it down. You've also got like a gain control on the input, which I've actually got it. Then we can flick it to the modulation mode. And then we've got the flanger mode. And that's it. That is just a great sounding pedal. And who knows what's going to happen to it now, but at least it's working. Well, there we have it. The pedal's all working now, and I'll pop this back in the post to Kevin in the week, and he can do whatever he wants with it. And this pedal just sounds fantastic. It really is a gorgeous sounding chorus pedal. You know, it's a little bit bashed, a little bit knocked, but you know, this has done more top level gigs than I'm ever going to do in my life. And, you know, I hope Kevin enjoys using it forevermore because it's a great sounding pedal. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next one.